So we all know what it means to compare and to order. Comparing and ordering is just using those fun little greedy gator signs that are like this. Okay? That's what we do when we're comparing things. Now, when we're doing decimals, it's good to review back over place value. When I have a decimal, I'm always looking at the numbers that are there. I can have something as small as 2/100ths, or I can have something as large as 22 2/200ths. Regardless, I always pay attention to my place value. So if I'm comparing something, let's say if I'm comparing to 0.1 and 0.09. Put my zeros in there too. Technically, when I look at it, my brain first might mistakenly go, oh, 9 is bigger than 1. But that's not the case. You always look at the first number after the decimal place. Sometimes you even have to look before the decimal if there's a whole number. But in this case, I've got 0 whole numbers. I'm looking past a decimal. The first decimal place is larger than the second one. This is my 10th. This is my 100th. So technically, this is not a 1. This is a 10. 10 is bigger than 9. So if you look in your book under number 1, it is asking you to compare 0.7 to 0.57. Okay? 0, 0. Don't look at the whole then. Okay? First number after my decimal is a 7. First number after my decimal is a 5. What's bigger, 70 or 50?
70.
70 is. Make my greedy gator or Pac-Man, whichever you like. Number 2, it's asking me once again to do 0.23, comparing it to 0.32. Okay, 0, 0, moving on. After my decimal, 2. After my decimal, 3. Well, what's bigger, 3 or 2?
3.
3 is bigger. So I make my sign. Okay, for number 4. 1.01. Okay, I've got a whole number there. I got to remember that. 0.98. All right, there we go. Hello. Whole number? No whole number. Bigger. And then for number 4. 0.2. 0.20. Okay, 0, 0. After my decimal, 2, 2. There's nothing here, but there's a 0 here. But what is supposed to be here in my mind? The 0. So these are equal. They are equal to each other. Okay, now it wants me to put numbers in order. It wants me to put in order from least to greatest. So I'm looking at 0.65, 0.6, 0.71. Which one of these is the smallest?
0.6.
0.6, because technically it's a 60. So that comes first. What comes next? 65, because technically that's just 5 more than this one. And then last is 0.71. Okay, what about 1.21, 1.01, and 1.2? Which one of those is the smallest? 1.01 is my smallest. Then what's the next?
1.2.
1.2, because technically it's 1.20, and then 1.21. Okay? So really, all you got to remember is how to count. And that 3 is bigger than 2. If you know how to count in a numerical order and which numbers are bigger and which numbers are smaller, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay? The only thing that can trip you up is when you are given something like this, because you might, if you're just having a space cadet moment, this might turn into that in your brain. That's not what it is. So always remember that just because it's written like this doesn't mean that it only represents 6. This represents 60. So if it helps your brain, you can add a little 0. But always know that the minute it comes after that decimal, the first one after the decimal is your 10th spot. And then here is your 100th. So if there's a 0 there, it's there for a reason. If it's just a regular number and nothing after it, put a 0 in your mind. Okay?
Okay. We have to rewrite the whole problem, right?